What are the most reliable used cars you can buy? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you. Carwow has teamed up with Warranty Wise, which is the UK's leading provider of aftermarket warranties, and they have the data from thousands of breakdowns and car-related problems. They analyse the data to work out which cars are the most and least reliable. They record the age and mileage of each car. They know how much they cost to fix and how long the repairs took. They ignore cars which had less than 100 warranty plans to ensure a fair sample size. And vans are a whole separate thing, so they've excluded those as well, although you will find a pickup in this list somewhere. All the models in Warranty Wise's data were less than 10 years old, and none had any of their manufacturer's official warranty left. After all, you buy an aftermarket warranty once the manufacturer's warranty has run out. They factored all this information into a reliability index, which gives each car a score out of 100. The higher the score, the more reliable the car is. So let's get cracking with the most reliable used cars of 2024. In 10th place, it's the Mitsubishi ASX. It scored 85.3 out of 100. If you were likely to have problems with one of these small SUVs, the stats say the most likely area would be the suspension. The average repair bill paid out by Warranty Wise on these cars was £755, but the highest bill seen by one of these was for an engine problem which cost £3,343 to put right. Overall though, the trusty ASX is pretty reliable, so it deserves 10th place. Except it's not the only car in that slot, because the Honda CR-V also scored 85.3 points in Warranty Wise's reliability index. I'm talking about the 4th and 5th generation cars sold from 2014 onwards. They earned their top 10 place with an average repair cost of just £592, which is a little less than the Mitsubishi. If anything's going to go wrong, the most likely area is the electrical system, although the biggest bill Warranty Wise saw for a CR-V was for a gearbox issue that cost £2,819 to fix. I should add, this is the most reliable 7-seater in this top 10 countdown, so it's one to depend on if you've got lots of mates or you can't stop breeding. On to 9th place, and it's another joint billing, this time for the Volkswagen Up and the 2nd generation Kia Ceed, both of which scored 87.1 out of 100. The little Volkswagen made owners sweat with a common air conditioning fault, and the average repair cost according to Warranty Wise for all Up issues was £554. The biggest bill came to £1,048, which was to mend a faulty fuel system. Overall though, small car, small problems. As for the Kia Ceed, the biggest problem for owners was remembering where the apostrophe goes in the name. Anyway, they've scrapped that now. Beyond that, Ceeds racked up an average repair bill of £612, and the most common problems were with the brakes. The biggest bill on a single car, mind you, was £2,450 for a gearbox fault. Maybe there was a rogue apostrophe jammed in it. How come these cars share the same score when the Kia repair costs are higher than the Volkswagens? Well, it's because the Volkswagen Up tended to be newer and have fewer miles on them than the Kia when they had issues. And when you factor that into the results, Warranty Wise gave both cars the same reliability index score. On to 8th place, which is occupied by the Toyota Avensis, specifically the 3rd generation car sold between 2015 and 2018. Fun fact, this model has the highest average mileage of any car in our top 10, with over 93,000 miles on average for the cars. According to Warranty Wise, the most common fault with the Avensis was to do with the fuel system, and the average repair bill was a chunky £809. But one Avensis actually needed £1,958 spending on it to fix the turbocharger. On to 7th place, and it's another joint billing, this time between a pair of small cars. It's a 2nd generation Toyota Aygo and the 3rd generation Mazda 2, both scoring 88.4 out of 100. The Aygo is the smaller of the two, and as you'd expect, has the smaller bills. The average repair cost, according to Warranty Wise, was £501, and the most common issues with the Aygo were to do with the clutch. Meanwhile, the highest bill that they paid out for on an Aygo was £1,590 for a problem with the car's electrical system. For the Mazda, the most common issues were suspension related, and the average repair cost worked out to £603. The highest bill on a Mazda 2 was quite a lot more than on the Aygo. It was a fault with one car's fuel system, which cost a staggering £3,636 to put right. One reason why the Mazda got the same overall score though as the Toyota, despite having more expensive repairs, was because the repairs took less time to carry out on average, so the owner's car was off the road for less time. And this is another thing that is factored into the scoring index. In In sixth place is another small car, the Seat Me, which scored 89 out of 100. It also had the lowest average repair bill in this top 10 at £489 per fix. The most common issues were to do with the cooling system, and the heftiest bill ever seen on one of these, according to Warranty Wise, was only £1,296, and it was to fix a gearbox problem. Now you might be thinking, hold on a sec, the Volkswagen Up is the exact same car as the Me, so how come they don't get the same reliability score? Well, Warranty Wise's data showed the average mileage on the Me before it had any issues was over 68,000 miles compared to 53,000 miles on average for the Up. And Warranty Wise also found that there was less chance overall of the Seat going wrong compared to the Volkswagen, which is why the Seat beats the Volkswagen in this list. Now we're on to the top 5, and it starts with the Suzuki SX4, specifically the second generation model sold after 2014. This car scored 89.3 out of 100, making it the most reliable small SUV in this rundown. According to Warranty Wise, the average repair bill on an SX4 is £1,358, and the most common problems relating to the cooling system. However, Warranty Wise did have to pay out £6,483 to fix an engine problem on one particular SX4. Now that sounds very expensive compared to the other cars on this list. So why does the SX4 get such a high reliability score? Well, one reason is that the Suzuki tends to be older than most cars before it encounters problems. And according to Warranty Wise, the average age of these cars before they needed repairs was almost 9 years old. That's as high as any car in this top 10 list. On to fourth place, and it's another joint billing, shared between two very different cars. The only thing they've got in common is that they're both Japanese. You're pulling a surprise face, I can tell you. You wouldn't expect Japanese to do so well in this survey, eh? Anyway, in fourth place we have the second and third generation Suzuki Swift and the seventh and eighth generation Toyota Hilux made after 2014. These cars both scored 89.6 out of 100 in the Warranty Wise Reliability Index. The most common problems on the Suzuki Swift are to do with its air conditioning, and the average repair bill on the car works out to £588 according to Warranty Wise. But one person out there saw a bill of £2,411 because something had gone wrong with the car's engine, presumably something quite big. Even so, the little Suzuki hatchback has rightly earned its impressive fourth place. Now onto the Hilux, the only pickup in our top 10. It's a bigger and more expensive machine than the Suzuki Swift, and the average repair bill reflects that, coming in at £1,512. The most common problems are with the suspension, and in one particular case, sorting a suspension fault cost Warranty Wise £3,894 to fix. Now if you're wondering how the Hilux and Swift can occupy the same slot when their repair prices are so different, the answer is that statistically, the Toyota Hilux went wrong less frequently than the Suzuki. Well, what do you expect? It's a Hilux after all, the world's toughest vehicle. Now though, we're into the top 3, and it starts with another Toyota, the third generation Yaris. It scored 91.5 out of 100. According to Warranty Wise, the average repair bill on one of these Toyota Yarises is £587. The most common problems relate to the car's electrical systems, although the most expensive bill to fix a Toyota Yaris came to £2,366 to put a gearbox fault right. Now we're up to the second most reliable car according to Warranty Wise, and it is the Kia Venga with a score of 93.6 out of 100. The Venga doesn't seem to go wrong very often, but if it does, the most likely issue will be the electrical system. Warranty Wise found that the average repair bill on a Kia Venga was £684, but one person did have an issue with their car's steering, and it racked up a bill of £2,883. Now, before I announce the most reliable car, I want to name check a few models that aren't in this top 10 but come top in their respective categories, starting with the most reliable limousine, and it's the Audi A8, specifically the third and fourth generation models, also known as the D4 and D5 in Audi nerd speak. They scored 59.6 out of 100, so not so brilliant really, but it's better than cars like the BMW 7 Series and Mercedes S-Class. Now the most common problems with the Audi A8 are to do with the emissions control systems. The average repair bill on the A8, according to Warranty Wise, worked out to £1,550, but there was one A8 which had a problem with its fuel system that cost a staggering £6,128 to put right. Moving on, we come to the most reliable sports car, and surprise, surprise, it is of course the Mazda MX-5. As I said at the beginning though, we're only considering cars under 10 years old, which means the tail end of the third generation NC models and the fourth generation ND cars. They scored an average of 81.5 out of 100, which isn't far off what cars in the top 10 are getting. The average repair bill on those MX-5s worked out to £1,004, which is quite high, and the most common problems relate to the car's suspension. However, one MX-5 had problems not only with its suspension but a drive shaft too, and the total repair bill came to £3,501. Next up is large saloon cars and estates, and the most reliable in that group is the Volvo V90. This car's average repair bill, according to Warranty Wise, is £1,120, and the most common problems relate to the electrical system. However, in one case, a V90 developed a gearbox fault that cost £5,832 to fix. As a result, its overall score of 65.9 out of 100 was only okay. Finally though, we come to the most reliable hot hatch, and it is the Ford Fiesta ST. I'm talking about the 6th and 7th generation cars here, which are both absolute crackers to drive, and you'll more than likely get to enjoy them without interruption because they scored an impressive 71.5 out of 100 in the Warranty Wise Reliability Index. If you're going to have issues with one of these cars, the most likely area is the clutch, and if you're getting a bill for any issue, it'll set you back an average of £1,297 to fix. But brace yourself for this. One Fiesta ST had an engine issue so severe that it cost £9,457.61 to put right. Anyway, now we come back to our reliability top 10, and I can reveal that the number one car is the Suzuki Alto, which scored a hugely impressive 95.1 out of 100. Warranty Wise did have one case of a gearbox repair, which cost £1,584 to fix, but on average, the repair bill on a Suzuki Alto came to £687. And the really striking thing is just how little the Alto goes wrong. In fact, Warranty Wise has so little data on Suzuki Alto problems that there isn't a most common problem. The data just says miscellaneous, and I think that says it all.